Hi, it's Laura, and here's an exercise designed to help you reduce frivolous spending habits. This can be one solution to create more money in your life. Sometimes we sabotage ourselves by spending money on things we really don't need. If we can only stop spending this money, over time, we can have a chunk of money to use on something that will really make a difference to us. What sort of things am I talking about? Well, do you go to Starbucks every day or like to stop for a donut? A lot of times these habits start innocently enough when we need an extra cup of coffee or a small snack one day, but then we just keep going back over and over again. It could be that you have an uncontrollable urge to stop at garage sales or thrift stores and usually come out with 2 or 3 things you really didn't need. I know this often happens to me when I go to the 99-cent store. I wind up coming out with something I really didn't need, or 2 or 3. The thing that comes to mind for me, though, is when I started going to the cafeteria for an afternoon break at the company I used to work for. At the time, I was actually working for Quest Diagnostics. One afternoon, I ordered this scrumptious muffin. It was a cappuccino muffin, and boy, was it good. It had chocolate bits in it, and it was so mouth-watering. It was moist, and it had a delicious coffee flavor. And of course, I had to get a cup of Starbucks coffee to go along with it. A few days later, I went back and I got another one. And pretty soon it became my little treat. Over time, not only was I spending a little extra cash a day, but I was also consuming those extra calories. And you guessed it, I started to gain weight. The other thing we fail to recognize when we're engaged in these little indulgences is that although they may only cost a few dollars here or there, if you actually stop to calculate how much you spend in, say, a year's time, the amount can be substantial. So how do you break a habit like this? Say all my cappuccino break spendings were costing me $4 a day. Then over a week's time, that would be $20 spending since I was working full-time Monday through Friday. And over a year, it would add up, and get this, it would add up to somewhere around $1,000. $1,000, you say? Wow! How could that be? Imagine what you could do with an extra $1,000. Isn't it amazing how much money can just slip through our fingers if we let it happen? So, how do we make better choices with our spending habits? Well, I have a solution that's working for me, and I'd like to share it with you. There are 2 parts to this exercise. First of all, think about a habit you'd like to break that's costing you some money. Calculate realistically how much you think that's costing you. So if you go by my example, if it's costing you about $20 a week, it's gonna average, if you multiply it by 52 weeks, to about $1,000 a year. So maybe that can give you an idea according to your spending. Remember, this is an approximate amount, so you don't have to worry about the exact amount. Once you have a dollar amount, though, start imagining something you'd get with that amount of money. If it were burning a hole in your pocket right now, would you go buy a new TV or get a new laptop or cell phone? Be specific about what you'd like to do with that money. The higher your desire for this item, the more likely you are to follow through. Okay, so you got something in that price range that you really wish you could buy? Great. Once you have the item in question, close your eyes and just imagine what it would feel like to have it in your hands right now. Brand new. Okay, Now we're going to do a little exercise that my mentor Justin Wolf taught me, and it's going to require you to close your eyes and look inside yourself. So if you're driving or not in a position to stop and do this exercise, just listen so that you can do it later, or stop the video now. Okay, for everyone else, let's all sit down or lay down for a couple minutes and close our eyes. It should only take a minute or two. Just get comfortable. Now we're going to take 3 deep breaths with our eyes closed gently. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in through our nose for a count of 5, and then we're going to hold it for a moment, and then we're going to let go through our mouth. Ready? Start breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hold and let all the air out through your mouth. And again, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. And now let it all out through your mouth again. And one more time, breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hold and let all the tension out of your shoulders. Okay, so now if you're sitting in your house or car, it's going to be a little bit different, but imagine you hear a person knocking at the nearest door to you. In this scenario, the door is closed, or if you're in your car, there's someone rapping lightly at the window a few inches behind you. Not enough to startle you though. You imagine yourself getting up if you're at your house and going to the door and starting to open it, or in the case of your car window, you start turning your head. As you open the door, you see your future self standing there. This is you from a year from now. You look into your future self's eyes, then you give yourself a hug and invite them inside. You sit down comfortably across from each other and you ask your future self, what was it you did to stop this habit you'd like to release? This one where you're no longer willing to spend money on it. Now ask them, what was it they replaced the habit with? Listen to their response. And now ask them any other questions you have surrounding this change in behavior. Any more tips for you? Now look into their eyes and thank them very much for their help. And imagine yourself getting up and hugging them again, and now leading them to the door, and let them know you'll be in touch with them soon, and close the door behind them and walk back to your original spot and sit down again. And now breathe deeply, being grateful for what you learned. And I'm going to count to 5, and you're going to open your eyes fully awake and refreshed, remembering everything about this encounter. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fully awake now, awake and alert with the new knowledge your future self was able to impart. Please take the time to jot down the insights from this exercise. If you need to stop the video now, you can. So what did you learn? Did your future self have some good advice? If not, you can repeat this exercise later whenever you like. For me, I realized that it was far better for my health for me to take a bottle of water with me and go outside for a brief walk on my breaks. I would go outside and take nice deep breaths and enjoy the scenery. I'd have some nice sips of water and just have a lovely walk. And when I got back to my desk, I felt refreshed. I realized over time that the coffee was not really helping me feel better, and the water was much more invigorating. Also, I went back to my normal weight after a few weeks of walking and stretching outside. I hope this exercise helps you too. And if you want to go back to your old routine, then Think about the wonderful item you plan to buy for yourself when you have enough saved up. Make sure you do reward yourself eventually by buying yourself that item, or reward yourself with something of a comparable value. I really hope this helps. I want to remind you that we are here to help you get even closer to your ideal life, and hopefully this does help. This exercise. We now have the time and freedom to give back to all of you because we run an online business, and part of the reward is having the flexibility and the time to devote to bettering other people's lives. I get so much fulfillment out of it, and if you would like to know more about how to create more freedom for yourself, then click on the link in the description below and enter your email, and we'll send you inspirational ideas about how to live an even more ideal life, as well as informational videos on how we were able to start our business from scratch. Thanks for listening, and I hope this video helps you have more available money in your life. Have a great day.